Hi, this is Beau Hauser, or Raphael, as many of you know me. I wanted to do a series of videos about the plastic ocean situation, how our oceans are literally becoming plastic garbage dumps, and what's going on here. And this first video is going to be just about that. How is this really happening? How are 4.7 ton billions of plastic getting into our oceans every year? The second video is going to be about the costs of that, about the living costs, mammals, and life, where I get to pull your heartstrings a bit. And the third video and last one will be about what you can do, not only as a individual to change your footprint on this issue, but actually a very simple way that you can actually change how millions will work this issue. So, what's going on here? So, 100 years ago, there was no plastic. It's a new invention. Plastic bags, which are an especially vile culprit in all of this, were only invented in the 1970s. Plastic bags are kind of like zombies. They're dead, and yet they're not going anywhere. They're dead insofar as once plastic has been reduced to such a sheer substance, so thin, it is at the end of the line. It cannot be recycled. You cannot do anything with it. It can only be dumped or burned or thrown out to sea. But it lives on. It's a zombie. It doesn't go anywhere. And you don't really want that either, because it's made out of toxic chemicals that if you burn it, it's going to go into the air that you and I breathe. If you try to landfill it, it's going to leach into the aquifers from which we drink. And if it gets into the ocean, it's going to kill multiple wildlife and plankton and algae, as I will talk more about in the second video. So in 1996, the ratio of plastic to plankton was 6-1, and by 2007 that had changed to 36-1. So this is an issue that's happening really, really fast. In 2025, the ratio of fish to plastic will be 3-1. That's just a couple years from now. By 2050, it'll be 50-50. There will be as much plastic in the ocean as there will be fish. You're probably thinking, what? How is he? What is he saying? How is it even possible? Again, think about it. 4.7 tons of plastic are being poured into the oceans from all over the globe every year. And so we have 46,000 pieces of plastic per square mile of ocean right now. And what happens with that plastic once it's in the ocean? Some of it descends and drops to the bottom of the ocean floor. When it gets there, it will kill and suffocate algae and plankton or living organisms that are there. If it floats on top of the ocean, as much of it does, it blocks out the sunlight that the algae and the plankton need to survive. And of course, algae and plankton are what literally give the ocean life and allow fish and everything in the ecosystem to exist. And the rest of it is in the middle. You see, plastic, it doesn't go anywhere, especially plastic bags, but all plastics. They eventually degrade. They don't, let's not even say they biodegrade. Yeah, because these things, they're not biodegrading anytime in my lifetime or your children's lifetimes or anything like that. And again, we don't really even want that either, because it's just leaching DDT and really carcinogens into the waters, which are going to get into the marine life and into actually the high man on the totem pole, which is us. We're going to talk about that more in the second video. And so you have all these really tiny microscopic pieces of plastic that are even invisible to the eye in the middle of the ocean, which are just being ingested by all animals and killing everything in its wake and poisoning everything in its wake. So this is a huge issue. It's not going anywhere. There's not really a lot of political will, certainly not in our country, to do much about it. And, isolated instances in certain communities there are. But, National Geographic now is, devoting the entire month to this issue, and it needs to be talked about. So that is the basic of just how our oceans are being plasticized, and I hope that was kind of maybe a little concise little tidbit of how this is coming to be. And please stay tuned for more videos. I'll be talking about in the second one about literally the costs to marine and wildlife, and ultimately us. And lastly, in our third video, what you can do. And there is something you can do. And we can change all of this in some countries. They're already doing it. It's not impossible. Thanks for watching. Take care.